Yeah. Build on.
Okay, I think we're getting ready to get started here. Department on Aging Advisory Board for December. Call the meeting to order, and first up is the roll call. Dylan?
Terry Collins,
Here.
Carol Zawacki,
Here.
Gloria Bortoncheck, Russ Amo,
Here.
Jeff DeCenzo,
Here.
Bert Fenby, Ralph Tillotson,
Here.
Carol Bolton, Chris Peoples,
Here.
Alan Dickerson,
Here.
Julie Hackett, Rob Trevino,
Here.
That's it. We have a full house. That's all right. And on the agenda coming down would be the approval of last month's meeting. Everybody has a chance to look at the minutes from last month. Looking for a motion.
There's no additions or corrections. I move that they be approved as written.
Support. Motion made and supported. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, down to the presentation. I guess there is not a presentation. That's correct?
There is not. I'll give you a little story and Connie, I'm sure will be with us as soon as we can get her here. Our route coordinator at the new site has taken a new position or a different position within our department. And so that has left that very crucial position open. So Connie's been filling in there and doing double duty, her job and that job most days. So she could not slip away today to join us, unfortunately. But I will give a plea and a huge plea that right now we are really struggling with volunteer drivers in almost every center. It seems that this is the time of year, people are taking a trip to warmer places, slipping away to visit family for holidays. And heaven forbid, it seems there are a large number of people having medical situations, surgeries and illnesses that are taking them away as well. So it's just one of those points in our day. At one point today, we were desperate to have 3 drivers in 3 different spaces. We managed to make it work, but we can't keep doing that for too many days. So if you know someone or can drive, once in a while, want to be on an emergency call list, willing to do any center, a specific center, we would certainly be grateful for anybody who could offer that assistance to us. In Adrian specifically, we have one route that seems to be open. That regular driver is unable to drive right now. So that when we lose someone who's been there 5 days a week, that really hurts us. Puts a damper on. So those are what we're looking for. As far as what's happening at the kitchen, I'll just capture there. Overall, I think we're doing okay. We have added a new staff member. It is not a new position. It is the cook 2, which is very confusing because cook 1 is the lowest level, cook 3 is the highest level. Cook 2 was Tammy Hodos in Hudson. And she had left us prior to the move. And that position is now filled at the campus with Tim Choi. He is a great addition to our team. His focus is to help with the cold meal prep and some of our other details of ordering and preparing that meal. Michaela Allen is our other cook too, and she prepares our hot meal and manages that piece of it. So it's nice to know that now we have two prep cooks in there helping guide that process. It frees Tony up to do some more of the prep work, and that frees Connie up to work as the route coordinator at this point in time. So we do have some interviews coming, but if you know of someone who might be interested in that position, we sure would be grateful to hear from you or help us share that. It is a full-time position. It's 7.5 hours and they start at 7:30, so I'm not exactly sure what that math is, but with a half-hour lunch, maybe 3 o'clock. But that person is responsible for recruiting drivers, for maintaining that driver list, organizing those routes as they go out, help get them out, help get them back in. We are still missing a cook in our Tecumseh Center. Unfortunately, we had an interview today that didn't happen. So we're looking for somebody in the Tecumseh area who is willing to work about 5 hours a day, typically 8:30 to 2, 8:30 to 2:30, somewhere in there. 8:30 to 1:30 must be 5 hours. And that's just preparing the lunch, although the position says cook too. There is no meal prep. It's serving, cleaning up, setting up, helping with drivers at the Tecumseh Center. Chris?
The drivers that you're looking for, are they meal delivery drivers?
Specifically meal delivery drivers.
Okay.
Although I will have to say, because Amy might be watching, yes, we still need transportation drivers, but my plea today is definitely for meals.
Thank you.
Are you posting in those positions in the internet?
Yes. Yes, those positions are in Indeed. Those positions are on Facebook, leading to the county website, and we have also posted in local papers this time. We haven't typically done that, but we have done that outreach.
Are they on your monthly, I can't remember the name of the monthly program you put out for the seniors?
Our electronic newsletter?
Yeah. No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Right.
Someday you'll really get to meet the real Connie. She does exist.
Okay. Well, actually, we're down to the Department on Aging Director's report, Debbie. You can continue.
Director's report. Let me get my list for you. I am excited to tell you that our home care staff, I don't know that we'll ever say it's full, but we're going to say it's fullish. We're probably to the highest we've been in 5 years, and that's a great feeling. Our wait list has been reduced significantly. Barb tells me it's next to nothing, which means that there's probably always going to be 1 or 2 people on, and those 1 or 2 people are always going to be in that area that might only have 1 home care worker. So they might be in Addison, and we just don't have additional space for another Addison person on that particular staff. So that's a great thing and feels really good for us to be able to say that most people are getting served within a reasonable time again, and that's a good thing. That's been a long time coming and feels pretty good right now. We're celebrating those moments. If you're in the holiday mood and would like to join one of the senior centers, there are lots of holiday activities coming out, but October, nope, not going back there. December 18th is our big holiday meal. It's roast beef, mashed potatoes, all the fixins. Every center has something going on along with that meal on that day. So if you're in any particular area and want to stop in and have lunch, it's really more of a dinner, please feel free to do that. I know that Tecumseh is looking at 60-ish people. The Adrian Center is looking at 100-ish people. So it does draw a big crowd and it will be a good time. If you have an ugly sweater you want to show off, I think you could probably tour all 7 centers and show it off on a different day and still be part of the contest. So check those calendars out on our website and their Facebook pages. Dylan, what am I missing? Okay. Our numbers. We gave you a sheet. Again, this is our first month of the new fiscal year. So sometimes things look a little wonky because we may have held something or back from September to make sure it hit October. You will notice when you look at revenue that at this point there were no federal funds released in October. But Wellwise Services has voted to provide out of their coffers what would be the federal funding that we would receive or anticipated to receive to balance that out until it does come to them. So we didn't get it in October. We will get it in November for October. So that's why October's a little low, but it should resume in November. That vote didn't happen until after the end of or at the end of the month. I don't see any other things that strike me. As sharing, we've talked about that October 1st, our recommended donations have changed. We have not yet been in a position that we can probably tell you anything about that difference in contributions, just because we introduced it in October and it's taken a little bit of traction for people to recognize it, realize it, at a new rhythm. So we haven't seen much of a difference there as of yet in what we're seeing in contributions. And I'm gauging that just by what we see daily, not by that total on that sheet. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
That's it, huh? Well, I'll turn to anybody have to go right ahead, Jeff.
So Carrie, I had just a how things work kind of question. The meals used to be prepared at the Adrian Center, and then the curbside people would, I imagine, line up there and get their meals. And so now you have to make all the Adrian Center meals and the curbside meals and then truck them over to Adrian. Has that impacted their delivery time, or have you had some complications getting people adjusted to the new way things work? The clients, I mean.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a staff member that works in the kitchen. His name is Armand Britton. He works in the central kitchen. When things are packed, he's the last one out the door. He drives over to the Adrian Center and prepares. He doesn't prepare anything. He gets them out, helps
Okay.
another staff there prepare to serve. We are currently still serving in rooms 5 and 6. We are getting that dining room cleaned up and ready to resume serving in our actual dining room. So we'll use the serving window like it's intended to be.
Okay.
Curbside, they have always packed like they pack. It's just a matter of, as you say, trucking it over.
Okay.
We have changed our times a little bit. They serve still at 11:30 or as close to that as we can. We've had days, Monday was one of them, that have been, we'll use the word bumpy and challenging. And so I don't know that they dined until noon that day. But we have changed the curbside. We were serving curbside at 11:15 to 11:30 before the meal. We have now changed that to after because otherwise it was too tight of a window to get the meal, get it set, get it out. So curbside is now 12 to 12:15. And we are starting to see a reduced number of individuals taking advantage of that. But those individuals we're seeing inside the building, which is a
Seeing-
good thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great. And the second thing, by the way, we were at the Spear campus yesterday talking to one of the cooks there, and they're all using the combined kitchen and loving it.
It is a
They're-
good thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So no aggravation with having to change to a new,
No, I don't think that was a challenge.
right. No, people don't like change,
Yep.
Great.
Well, who doesn't want to have a new kitchen? I did forget something.
Go ahead.
I shared with you that Wellwise Services, along with a grant from Consumers Energy, has provided us with an additional wheelchair accessible van that arrived last week. So it is on our premises. It's being utilized slightly. We are awaiting Hillsdale County getting their van, and then the two will have, they're using the word a wrap that will indicate that it came from Wellwise and Consumers Energy and have our Department on Aging logo as well. So it's out there, it's just not noted. It's on the road, I think, 2 days a week right now. So that's exciting. We're keeping it busy.
Anything? I'm looking for the floor if there's any other questions. Well, looks like a short meeting coming up here. We're down to existing business. We're past that. Any new business?
Terry,
Okay.
maybe I should ask this during your report, but I thought maybe it'd be better under new business. It's been brought to my attention that Meal on Wheel deliveries are really struggling with the new system. The hot meal is in a bag, easy to get to, but then the cold meal and the frozens are separate, and they're trying to differentiate. That all came packed. They're having to do this. A little confusing, hard to read. I've heard it from 2 different people who have delivered meals in the area that I represent. And I said that I would bring it to the board. They are, recommending, or not recommending. They are asking or wondering, why can't this be packed either at the campus, Maury Spears, or can't this be packed at the center when they are delivered, to where once that's done, they put it in the car and away they go? And I think that came up at a previous meal. I'm not sure, Carol, if you had done it or somebody else, might have been Gloria that had.
Laura,
said
yeah,
something
Gloria is behind you and nodding her head.
with that. Okay. And my concern is that I think that we need to probably address this sooner than later. Because if we're already hurting for meal deliveries here for December, if this becomes burdensome and weather is not going to get any better, that's going to deter a lot more of the volunteers, not only maybe in my area, but other areas here too. So I think that something needs to be discussed either at the center or with an advisory board or something like that, or individuals out here to get a better system.
That system was changed. It was changed through an entire process. I understand it has some impact on the drivers. But what it has done on our end to pack those bags in that process requires an enormous amount of space and time. It would take 4 to 5 man-hours to put all those bags together and pack them and then have them out. It takes an hour and a half for one person to do it now. That's a huge amount of time. It's also an enormous amount of space. Putting bags into those bags takes up a lot more space. We can utilize that space for routes better without that. We recognize we are asking more of drivers. We do know that. It is a new system. It is change. We can have conversations. Connie is very open to talking with people to help with some different processes. We, as a staff, have been delivering. I've delivered twice already this week. Dylan's delivered at least 3 times this week. We have done those routes. We recognize that it is asking a little more of those drivers, but it is reducing significantly our process time that allows us to get those meals done and packed and out faster than having the other piece. It requires less staff, which is a huge cost saving. So it really has altered what we are doing. If someone needs some suggestions, and if it's not for them, I hate to lose a driver, but they have to be comfortable in what they're asking and what they're doing.
Yeah, and I had wanted the opportunity to do that so I could see what this new system was. And by the time that I went to sign up, all those routes were full, from that area. So I don't know exactly what the new system is. So I can't speak to it other than I know that these were the questions that came to me, said that I would bring them to the board to see, they were saying, one person said, what are the kids doing at the center? Is there some kind of an obligation, or is there something that they could be involved in to pack these, bags there
They're-
to?
Keep in mind that they're in school. 9 months of the year, they're in school. They're not available to us in the time that we would do that.
Okay.
So,
Your mic on.
While you transport?
Say it again, Bert. Say,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, say it again.
I said I would imagine there would be an issue sending the meals as far as they are with a hot and a frozen in there to maintain temp too, right?
they're not. All the hot are in one bag, as they always have. That hasn't changed.
Okay,
It's the cold bag, which is more like what you're delivering now, is that instead of having all those bags in there, there might be, if there's 18 people on the route, assuming everyone gets milk, there might be 18 milk and 18 cups of fruit.
Yep.
So when you get there, you're gonna pull out a hot meal and a milk if they get one, and a cup of fruit, and you're gonna take that to the,
right.
some people, if that's all they're taking up, choose not to put it in any bags. We certainly offer grocery bags, Walmart bags, to put them in if that helps people get them to the door. Some people use them, some of us do not. I mean, certainly if there's 2 or 3 meals, then absolutely it's a lot easier to put them in a bag. But they're only put together as they come out of the car.
I forget that you guys don't ship frozens every day.
No, we do not. Well, it feels like it, but
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Terry.
Has this time-saving procedure been communicated to the drivers so that
yes.
they understand why the change has been?
To the best of our ability. Everybody is welcome to have a conversation with Connie or myself. We're very open to that. At the start of this, Connie came to the centers, invited drivers to come and meet with her to see the new process, to have a discussion. Again, we're open to have that conversation. I had a driver from Tecumseh come and visit with me yesterday.
I don't know if you know this, but what are we talking about here as far as the numbers? How many drivers are you talking about? How many meals delivered are you talking? Do you have any idea?
We have 37 drivers a day right now,
37?
37 across the county. 17 go out of Adrian right now.
And you do have drivers in other areas. Like Onstead, for example, as the drivers.
Onstead has 3, Addison has 3, Hudson has 2, Morenci has 3, Blissfield has 3, Tecumseh has 7.
It's a big job. I was wondering if it's just a particular area that we're having a problem with, or is it just, where are you getting these from, do you know? Blissfield.
It's out of the Blissfield Center, Russ. It's the people that had volunteered
Was the,
to drive, to do the Meals on Wheels out there, and it came from a couple different people.
so Blissfield's home delivered meal pool of volunteers, they have a 2-week rotation of churches. So
Correct.
they'll be on for 2 weeks, off for 2 weeks. That's the only center that has that. So there may be some that haven't done that in that 6-month window yet.
And I
They
know
put
that
it in
there-
August.
Right, and I know that there are some that it does rotate from, you know, whatever that rotation is between the churches there. Typically, though, we have seen, or from at least where I attend, it's a lot of times the same drivers. And so they're accustomed to the routes and that, and they've kind of said, this is a little bit of a struggle with this new system with that. So when you hear it from a couple of different people that have run them routes, that gives me a concern to say, if they're here, if I'm hearing it there, where else are they hearing this potentially, or maybe not hearing that? And does this need to be addressed? Because like I said, my concern is that if you've said, we're hurting for drivers, let's not aggravate the situation. Try to get ahead of it before it gets to that. That is all. And like I said, I haven't done it, so I can't speak to it other than what I've been told.
It is a change. It is asking a little more of our drivers. But it is significantly impacting us as a whole, this process.
Just to piggyback on that, if anybody is gonna be in the Adrian area tomorrow, and you're available between about 10:40 and 11:40, I'll be delivering a route if you want to ride along with me. Just throwing that offer out there.
Need
In Adrian.
Oop, hit your button.
Okay, I have a question too about the driving. Now that we're in the winter season, do we have a policy about when the roads are bad or driveways aren't shoveled or steps? Do we have any kind of policy for drivers?
I don't know if we have a firm policy. We have a practice. Our practice has always been your safety is number one. If you can't get down that driveway, down that road, up those steps safely, that you feel safe, then don't do it. That's okay. If a whole route is in a space that isn't good, we're okay with not doing that route. We take that as a case by case. You know, some families are out there and clean them off and some may never, ever be cleaned out. So that's always number one. That is the number one thing I send out to center directors that when we decide whether we're open or closed. If we're open, please remind drivers. If that's not a safe place to be, then it's okay not to go there. We just ask that we make sure we make a connection. That's why we do the emergency meals that we send out. That's why we send those shelf-stable meals, so that to assure that they might have something in the freezer for those days we can't get to them. Years ago, we used to follow the school's closing schedule. When they were closed, we were closed. But we found there are a lot of times that they were closed for reasons that were expedited by things such as they're closed because it might have been foggy in the morning, but they were only having a half day anyway. So now they closed. And that would have had us closed when the reality is by 10 o'clock when we're having meals, everything was fine. So they couldn't do a 2-hour delay and go to school for an hour.
Russ?
Yeah.
Dylan, I think I'm gonna come out and try to ride with you tomorrow, because I need to get more educated on what the drivers are doing. And the last thing I want to touch on, Alan, over here in front of you.
Oh, sorry.
So
Over here.
I'm not, because I've never done it, I'm not clear on so when these drivers are expressing these frustrations, and maybe they're just looking for something to talk about, but what they're requesting is exactly what? They want the cold and hot packed together, ready to carry up to the porch, or what is it that they think would work better?
From, I think the hot is in the bag itself, or
Yeah.
that, and they're taking that out, and that didn't seem to be the issue. The
Okay.
issue seemed to be from the cold side of it. I guess everything was originally in the bag.
Oh,
Now
one
they
bag
have-
for
Now
the
they have.
milk and the fruit.
Now they have this other, and so whether it's taking up more space in the car,
Okay.
or there's, poor information as to what goes in it.
Gotcha.
That, like I said, I haven't run it and I haven't done it, so I don't know. They
Yeah.
just seem to say it's a lot more cumbersome to the driver out there. And,
Yeah.
it used to be pull in, get the 2 meals, whatever they were getting, and you go to the door and that. Now it's some things to where it's like, okay, I got my
And-
hot
and-
meal, I got my cold meal, but now what goes in this? This milk and,
Yeah.
and fruit, or is it milk or just one or the other, or what?
Yeah, and if these people are, let's say a driver has 10 meals to deliver, is it possible for them when they're at their vehicle picking up the meals that they take? So everybody who gets a fruit gets a milk?
No,
Oh, okay. So they could pack their bags in their vehicle before they head out, so it's all ready to grab and go.
That'd be a
No.
big time commitment. That would
Okay.
not be a productive use of time.
All right. They can't pull into Tim Hortons and do that in the parking lot for a while. Okay.
I
I think I'll ride with Dylan tomorrow and see him.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, I'm just bringing it out.
Yeah, oh,
And
yeah.
Like I said, and I haven't run it, want to, and so I can learn,
yeah.
and see exactly what this is. But when I've heard it from a number of different people, something that I thought, okay, this needs to come out so we can stay on top of this and keep it on our radar before we start, not having people volunteer, to do those things.
Jeff, thank you. I would say from the chair, I'd appreciate you doing that. And then maybe you can educate us all a little bit better on our next meeting. That may help. Yes.
As someone that's been driving the Meals on Wheels for a few years, I've also heard that from other drivers in Adrian. But I also reiterate what Carrie says, it's a process change, and I mean, no one likes change. They were set up at the old place in the Adrian Center and they liked it, and it's unfortunate that they're having issues with the new change, but I think it's for the better. I mean, they don't have the space for that. They don't have the people hours, man hours. But it's just a process. I mean, it's just how things go in life. You're not gonna have everything the same,
So you've been a driver doing this?
Yeah, I do it.
Okay, and how much did we pay you for doing it?
Whatever the mileage is, I don't know.
That's basically what
Government
we're
rate.
getting.
No pay.
Not doing it for the
reimbursement.
money, yeah.
Are you getting mileage reimbursement? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, yes, drivers are eligible for mileage reimbursement at the federal mileage reimbursement rate.
You're not getting wealthy off. You're doing it because you want to do it.
No, I was thinking about compensation in another way, maybe, that would help the drivers a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm just talking out loud here. If there's something we could do, even a Christmas gift might be helpful. Something along those lines.
I think that might be under or up to each individual center. Am I correct, Carrie? Like maybe gift certificates at Christmas time?
Appreciation, that's what I'm looking for here. If there's a way to tell the drivers that we are concerned, and it's something that we could do to show them that we appreciate them. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
We do acknowledge and budget for volunteer appreciation in the month of April. Some use it all year long. Some use it once in a while. Gift certificates are not an option or recommended item. They have been in the past, but moving forward, that's not something that has been approved. It's not it's an
Why
IRS
is that,
issue.
Kirby?
Kim, you want to help me?
Why?
This has nothing to do with Carrie. If Carrie could, Carrie would. It's an IRS matter. So there are federal requirements that will prohibit the use of county funds for bonuses, gift certificates, that sort of thing. As much as we would like to be able to do that, we cannot. It's prohibited by law.
Okay.
Like not, in county government, no county meals. So that can't be a part of it. And that goes back to IRS.
So we can do things. We can do other things. We have done other gifts. We have done other recognitions. We have had recognition gatherings. Sometimes that is a simple
Okay.
reception area and sometimes it's more exuberant. But yes, those, Gloria, to answer your question, we do push that back to the centers to recognize their own individual group. But there's a process for them to seek reimbursement for that. And there is a budgeted amount that has to be within that guideline.
Okay. Well, Jeff, when you do that, you can come back and tell how you enjoyed yourself.
I can tell you what kind of driver Dylan is.
It's true. You might want to record it, you know. Yes, KZ.
Carrie, seeing as we're in the last month of the year, can you tell us of anything that we as a board should expect in the upcoming year?
Is it bad if I say no? I have no idea. I'm living in the moment. Boy, I should know that answer, KZ, and I'm blank for you. I'm
gonna give Carrie a helping hand here a little bit. I don't know if
Okay.
it's what you're looking for, KZ. But the county commissioners, after the first of the year, probably more towards February or March, are gonna be doing some strategic planning. And they're gonna be looking at the county as a whole, county government as a whole, and trying to prioritize some of the needs that we think are out there. And by all means, from the Department on Aging standpoint, if there are things that you see that you think need to be brought forward to the Board of Commissioners as a bigger project or as something that should be considered in that strategic plan, please bring that forward. I know that each of the departments set out their own goals and objectives and action items on how to get things done that their department operationally wants to get done. But as a county, when we think of a bigger picture, is there something coming from Department on Aging that we would like to see the board take a look at going forward? And I would encourage that if you have an idea, I don't even know what that would look like, but if you have an idea, you have two commissioners that are sitting here today that you could bend their ear and let them know, and I'm sure they would bring that forward, or you can always call my office and convey it through Mr. Abatero or however, but let us know, because that strategic planning will probably take place in that first quarter of 2026.
I don't have any buildings being planned. It's going to be a quiet year.
Yeah, yeah. You got the
It's-
kitchen
it's a
done. You're
year
not
of
putting,
breathing.
you're not putting up a garage or anything next, are you? You got the kitchen all done.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, I understand that the county is going to go through the strategic planning, which is excellent. But I was just wondering if there was anything that you foresaw, like we needed another van, or if we needed more space to do something in, or, if we are planning, the picnic for next year, or, just that type of item.
I think we will resume some of those things, KZ. Certainly we'll have the resource fair again next year. We'll have some some summer programming. There's, we're taking some good looks at staffing, education, not just staffing, but staff education, and how we might be more proactive in that, and some training opportunities. We're working with Wellwise, who's offering us some free options to enhance what we're able to offer. A review of some policies internally are some things on our list. But very small compared to this last year.
Similar to what Casey was asking, I know at one time we were concerned that Tecumseh might have to find a new facility. I haven't heard anything happening with that facility.
Right now, we are still in agreement with the Methodist Church on a temporary space. Well, the owner of the Hayden Mill is renovating. Our intent is to go back there. His intent is to have us there. So right now, we are just in that temporary location. We've extended that out probably way longer than we needed to, but we didn't want to do another agreement in a couple of months. So we took
Okay.
that out till April for right now.
This meeting got pretty productive here. Yes.
Thing, Russ. It's about veterans and Veterans Day. I believe right now it is up to the senior centers to decide whether they are going to give the veterans a meal that day for free of charge. And I'd like to discuss that because I don't know. My belief is we should honor those veterans and at every center throughout the county, give them a free meal. But I'd like you to discuss it.
Well, when was Veterans Day? It's passed now.
It's passed, correct.
Are you asking that the meal be free for veterans every day or?
No, just on
that day.
veterans, that day that they're celebrating Veterans Day.
So meals at the Department on Aging are donation-based all the time. So there's no obligation for anyone to make a contribution.
So the veterans.
Contributions help us continue. If a center is opting to say this particular holiday, we would like to offer it free with no obligation to veterans and would like to make a contribution on their behalf, a center who has money for funding could make that option to support that program. If this board decides that on certain holidays or specific things that they want to make it known that that meal has no obligation for those individuals, then that's something we can talk about and consider.
Go ahead, Terry.
Not to dissuade what you just talked about, but there are several restaurants in Lenawee County area on Veterans Day who give free meals.
That's correct. Applebee's is one of them.
Bees is one, Bob Evans is one.
Bob Evans, and I think Aubrey's does the same thing. They used to. I don't know if they do anymore.
But I know there are several out the county that give free meals to veterans,
Yeah.
assuming they have transportation.
Yeah. I like the sentiment. I am a veteran, so anytime I get a free meal, I'll take it. So.
So, okay. If our center, I'm associated with Onstead, if Onstead celebrates Veterans Day and we say we are going to give the veterans a free meal that day, we still have to pay the Department on Aging for their meal? Is that what or correct me if I'm wrong?
If you, and I'm saying you, but meaning Onstead,
Correct. Yeah.
opt to offer that meal free with no obligation for contributions, it is appreciated that there be some contribution back into the coffers. If that's not something you can do, I guess we can have a discussion about whether that's an option. But then who's to say that why would anybody ever want to put a contribution in for any event? And therefore we have no no funds coming back in to support the program. Does that make sense?
Yes and no.
If this board decides and wants to have a conversation that on particular events or days, they want to offer that as a no contribution obligation day, that can happen. That's not historically how things have been done.
Okay.
I would like to gracefully stir the pot a little bit. According to this document right here, during the month of October, there were only 16.9% of services were actually paid for. A lot of people are already getting free services from the Department of Aging. I don't think we need to give them permission to have a free service.
Okay, Casey.
With the different centers being kind of individual and individualized, I would assume that they would make their own decisions as to what they want to do. And if they want to do a fundraiser prior to help raise money for the meals, or if they want to do a program for it, I think that would be appropriate. But I think, that there is a way that the veterans' meals could be covered from their own board.
So each individual center. Okay.
That's my thought.
Gloria, let me give you a little history. So much has changed since 2020, when we had an enormous amount of change, and all of our center directors have changed. Turi is our only one that was a center director prior. But prior to 2020, if I, as a center director, said, I want to offer free birthday lunch, and I said to my board, would you consider that? Then that board then said, sure, and they paid the then $3 for that individual to have their lunch coupon. It was never assumed that the Department on Aging was covering those free events. And I think that has gotten lost in our growth and change in those last 5 years. And my comments to the center directors yesterday was just bringing that back to saying, we're not here just offering free meals to everybody for whatever we want because it's a free bingo prize. The veterans is slightly different, but that's what's becoming. Oh, well, we'll give a free meal for bingo prizes. Well, we'll give a free meal because, you did this. The reality is then we're losing that contribution option. And if you'd like to do that as a prize, then the senior center they would buy a bingo prize. Could they not put a little in the money as well? They should be purchasing that.
I could see that for birthdays and, like, oh, yes, we're going to play bingo and whatever. No, that would, but I'm looking at one day a year for our veterans. But I wanted to bring that to the board to see what your thoughts are.
So done.
Terry.
There.
I too am a veteran, and I too appreciate the sentiment of it. I understand Carrie's position and that it weakens the donation capability, but I certainly would think, and I don't know, I am a member of the AMVETS, I am a member of the American Legion, and I would assume if those locations approach their local veterans groups, they would find that donation
Yes, they would.
sufficient.
That's probably very true. I think the veterans, even though they like free meals, they'll also help.
The organization,
Yes.
Legion.
Yep.
And the Onstead location is a Legion Hall. So I think it, and so if the sentiment in Onset is, let's do something for these veterans, then do something for them. And it would come from their heart and they're finding a way to pay for that, rather than saying to the county, hey, we paid for this, can you repay us? Or, can you do this for us? So I think I like what Terry's implying, that, there's a way to take care of this. Nobody's against them getting a break on a meal. But yeah.
All right, well, let's move on here, and we're all the way down to public comment, I believe. There's any public comment? No? I hate to say the next thing is a board member comment, but we could do that again. Okay, we got him. Terry.
Tossing some kudos to Kerry. I have breakfast daily during weekdays with a particular group. One of them, who's also a veteran, by the way. One of them was having difficulties. He's an elder gentleman, he's 94. Having difficulties getting someone to clean his driveway and sidewalks, snow. And a couple of other issues he had. He had somebody who had been doing it for many years. They just stopped doing it, refused to do it in the future. He wrote letters to some people. He called some people. Yeah, they all said, nope, we're not going to do it. I just mentioned to him, I said, I don't know if they can do it, but have you tried the Department of Aging? A day later, he had somebody to take care of his driveway and sidewalk, because of the Department of Aging and some other issues he had also taken care of. Kudos.
Thank you. That's probably not something we are doing. We probably made a connection with him for him. Yep. 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 I just don't want to misconstrue.
Yep, I hear you.
Our staff doesn't go that far.
We have a wonderful staff.
A volunteer.
Yes, we do. But Casey, go ahead.
I just want to say that this has been a banner year for the Department on Aging with everything that went on. And I want to thank Carrie's leadership for following through and making sure that everything that we have done has been successful. There has been some bumps in the road and things that need to be ironed out, and different techniques having to be used, but I just want to thank her and her staff and Kim for out at Murray Spear campus and everything Carrie that has done at the Department on Aging. So thank you.
I think we can all say that that's true. It's been a really very productive year, I would say. By the way, before I forget, I was at your meeting and you did a tremendous job. All right. Well, with that, I'll look for an adjournment.
In support.
Moved and supported. All those in favor say aye, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.